Forget everything you thought you knew about how the narcissist operates, about their seemingly impenetrable facade. Because I'm about to reveal a truth that will shift your perspective entirely. There's a powerful, unseen force at play right now, a dynamic that directly impacts their crumbling world. Your very being, your spirit, is generating an intense energy, an undeniable frequency that is actively contributing to their downfall. As you rise, as you heal, as you reclaim your authentic self, that energy reverberates, and the narcissist in their darkened corner is being crushed by their karma. This isn't just theory. It's a spiritual reality unfolding before our eyes, demonstrating that divine justice is meticulous, precise, and inescapable. The journey you have embarked upon, from entanglement with manipulation to the pursuit of your authentic self, is not merely a psychological process. It is a profound spiritual evolution. As you heal, as you embrace truth, and as you reconnect with the divine source of your being, your spiritual vibration begins to rise. This isn't an aggressive force or a vengeful spell. It is simply the natural outpouring of your peace, your clarity, and your renewed connection to divine light. This intense energy emerges as a radiant aura of authentic power, a quiet strength that emanates from within you, impacting the spiritual landscape around you in ways you might not fully perceive. This rising spiritual vibration, this intense energy you carry, directly impacts the narcissist's unraveling world. They operate in darkness, fueled by lies, manipulation, and the emotional energy they extract from others. Your light, your peace, and your authenticity are fundamentally incompatible with their existence. Even from a distance, the purity of your rising energy creates a profound friction with their inherent darkness. It's akin to shining a bright light into a shadowy corner. The darkness doesn't stand a chance. The Bible reveals this truth in John chapter 1 verse 5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Your light, the very essence of your healing and growth, is actively resisting and overcoming their attempts to keep you or anyone in spiritual darkness. The narcissist is already plagued by internal turmoil, silent screams, an unbearable void, a painful mirror of truth, and the nagging seeds of regret we've previously explored. Your rising energy exacerbates these existing torments. It serves as a constant, subconscious reminder of what they lack: genuine peace, authentic connection, and a stable sense of self. They cannot comprehend your newfound serenity because their world is one of perpetual striving and dissatisfaction. Your calm existence challenges their entire worldview, confirming their deep-seated insecurities and fueling their internal rage. They feel your energy, even if they cannot name it, and it makes them deeply uncomfortable, stirring the pot of their inner chaos. This impact is not something you actively do to them. You are not sending negative energy or wishing them ill. Instead, your intense energy is simply a byproduct of your own liberation and spiritual alignment. By stepping into your true self, by choosing peace and light, you inherently create a contrast that exposes their darkness. It's like a tuning fork resonating at a higher frequency. When it comes near an instrument tuned to a lower, discordant frequency, it will cause that instrument to vibrate uncomfortably. Your vibrant energy disrupts their discordant reality, intensifying the breakdown they are already experiencing due to their own karmic rebalancing. Furthermore, your detachment, your refusal to engage in their drama, amplifies the power of this emerging energy. When you withdraw your supply, when you cease to react, you deny them the very emotional fuel they need to sustain their false self. This creates a vacuum around them, and into that vacuum rushes the consequences of their own deeds, intensified by the pure, unburdened energy you now carry. They struggle to control you, to provoke you, and when they fail, it is profoundly infuriating for them. They cannot control this new, intense energy you embody, nor can they understand its source, which drives them further into their desperate struggle. The Bible speaks to the power of a quiet spirit. As 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 4 suggests, "But let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious." Your gentle, quiet spirit, filled with this intense inner energy, is profoundly powerful against their chaotic ways. This spiritual phenomenon serves as a powerful reassurance. You are not fighting this battle alone. As you align with divine truth and cultivate your inner peace, you become a conduit for a higher power that actively works against the forces of deceit and manipulation. Your healing is not just for you. It is a testament to the fact that light always prevails over darkness. The narcissist, in their attempts to destroy your spirit, unwittingly set in motion the very process that leads to their own crushing karma, fueled by the rising, intense energy of your authentic, liberated self. As your intense energy emerges, creating spiritual friction with the narcissist's darkness, another powerful truth takes center stage: karma's crushing blow. This isn't merely a philosophical concept. It is the undeniable force of consequences meticulously descending upon their deeds, a precise and relentless spiritual mechanism at work. This is not about human retribution or wishing ill upon another. It is the unfolding of divine justice, the unbreakable law of sowing and reaping that governs the universe. The Bible makes it abundantly clear: our actions, whether hidden or overt, will eventually return to us. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 emphatically states, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that will he also reap." For the narcissist, who has systematically sown seeds of deceit, manipulation, exploitation, and emotional abuse, the harvest now ripening is one of immense personal and spiritual turmoil. Their past deeds, their callous disregard for the well-being of others, and their relentless pursuit of self-gratification are now converging upon them, delivering a crushing blow to their carefully constructed false reality. Consider the very nature of their past actions. A narcissist thrives by taking, by consuming, by extracting emotional and psychological supply without ever genuinely giving back. They build their world on the backs of others, believing they are above accountability. But the spiritual law of consequence dictates otherwise. Proverbs chapter 26 verse 27 reminds us, "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and whoever rolls a stone will have it rolled back on him." The pits they dug for you, the obstacles they placed in your path, the very instruments of their past manipulation are now becoming the means of their own downfall. They find themselves ensnared by their own cunning, tripped by the very traps they set for others. This is the precise nature of karma's crushing blow. It uses their own methods against them. This crushing blow manifests in myriad ways within their life, directly related to the pain they inflicted. Their relentless need for supply, which you once provided, now faces severe scarcity. New relationships often prove to be shallow and unsatisfying, unable to fill the profound void you left. The constant search for validation becomes more frantic and less fruitful, as people begin to sense their inauthenticity or simply grow weary of their demands. Their facade, once so convincing, begins to crack, leading to a loss of reputation as the truth about their character slowly emerges among those who once admired them. Their lies, once meticulously hidden, are now being exposed, causing public embarrassment or professional setbacks. The Bible confirms this unraveling in Luke chapter 8, verse 17, "For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor anything secret that will not be known and come to light." Beyond relational and reputational consequences, the crushing blow of karma can impact their material world. Financial instability can arise as their focus on self-gratification blinds them to practical responsibilities, or as their manipulative tendencies burn bridges in the professional realm, leading to unexpected job losses or missed opportunities. Even their physical health can suffer significantly. The stress, the incessant rage, the paranoia, and the internal conflict they constantly harbor take a severe toll on their physical bodies. As Scripture tells us in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 30, "A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot." Their envy, their restless spirit, and their inability to find peace are quite literally decaying their inner well-being, leading to stress-induced ailments and a general decline in vitality. The insidious nature of this crushing blow is its inescapable quality. The narcissist, in their arrogance, believes they can outsmart destiny, manipulate outcomes, and evade any form of genuine accountability. They will deny, blame shift, and project their failures onto others. But the relentless pressure of these consequences is undeniable. They are experiencing the spiritual law of cause and effect in its purest form, a law that respects no person or facade. As Psalm chapter 9 verse 15 states, "The nations have sunk in the pit that they made. In the net that they hid, their own foot has been caught." Their attempts to hide their true nature, their cunning traps for others, have become the very snares in which their own feet are caught. It is crucial to reiterate that your role in this karmic rebalancing is not one of active vengeance. By removing yourself from their control, by choosing your peace, and by allowing your own intense energy to rise, you simply stepped out of the way. You allowed the natural spiritual laws of the universe to take their course. Their downfall is entirely of their own making, a direct result of the unrighteous seeds they have consistently sown. Your freedom is the catalyst that allows the full weight of their consequences to descend upon them. As Romans chapter 12 verse 19 advises, "Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God. For it is written, 'Vengeance is mine, I will repay,' says the Lord." This divine promise assures you that justice will be served, not through your efforts, but through the unfailing principles God has established, ensuring that karma's crushing blow is meticulously delivered, leaving them no avenue for escape. From the undeniable impact of karma's crushing blow, we move deeper into the narcissist's internal suffering, witnessing the relentless echoes of their actions. This is the insidious way their past manipulations, their every lie, and their calculated cruelty now reflect back upon them, not as external punishment, but as an agonizing, self-inflicted torment within their own minds. While they may project an image of indifference or even triumph, their internal world is increasingly a prison of their own making, filled with the reverberations of their own unrighteous deeds. The narcissist meticulously crafted illusions, weaving webs of deceit to control others and bend reality to their will. They believed they were masters of their game, manipulating people and circumstances without consequence. But the spiritual law dictates that what you send out inevitably returns. Proverbs chapter 5 verse 22 reveals this truth. The iniquities of the wicked ensnare him, and he is held fast in the cords of his sin. The very cords they used to bind others, the very chains of manipulation they forged, are now holding them fast, creating a suffocating reality from which they cannot escape. Their past actions are not merely forgotten events. They are now active, tormenting echoes in their present. These echoes manifest as a relentless internal replay of their own past behaviors. They may not experience genuine guilt or remorse, which are emotions requiring empathy and self-reflection. Instead, their guilt is a self-serving frustration, a bitter anger that their tactics, which once worked so seamlessly, are now failing or causing them more trouble than gain. They are tormented by the memory of control they once had over you, a control that is now irretrievably lost. Every time a new supply proves difficult, every moment they feel exposed, the echoes of their past manipulation bounce back, reminding them of a time when their power seemed absolute, intensifying their current distress. A particularly agonizing echo for them is paranoia and suspicion. Having lived a life of constant deceit, the narcissist assumes everyone else operates with the same duplicity. They project their own manipulative tendencies onto others, constantly suspecting betrayal, ulterior motives, and hidden agendas. This creates a deeply isolating existence where trust is impossible, and every interaction is viewed through a lens of potential threat. The very tools they use to deceive others now make them incapable of receiving genuine connection, trapping them in a self-imposed prison of isolation. As Scripture reveals in Psalm chapter 7 verse 16, his mischief returns upon his own head, and on his own skull his violence descends. Their own mischief, their past acts of violence and deception, are now descending upon their own minds, creating a tormenting reality. Their lies, once so carefully constructed, are now creating a convoluted and unstable reality for themselves. They have told so many different versions of the truth to so many different people that their own internal narrative becomes a tangled mess. They struggle to keep their stories straight, leading to inconsistencies that chip away at their credibility and contribute to their internal confusion. This intellectual chaos, this constant need to remember and maintain their fabricated reality, is a deeply exhausting and tormenting echo of their actions. They are living in a maze of their own making, constantly bumping into the walls of their own deceit. This torment is entirely self-inflicted, a direct consequence of choosing a life built on falsehoods rather than truth. The narcissist, by consistently rejecting truth and embracing manipulation, has cut themselves off from the very source of peace and clarity. They chose to sow seeds of discord, and now they are reaping a harvest of internal dissonance. Their internal silent screams are the direct result of these echoing actions, a continuous reverberation of their own unrighteousness. They are literally being tormented by the consequences of their own deeds, a relentless cycle of frustration and unfulfilled desires that mirrors the frustration and emptiness they inflicted upon others. The Bible speaks powerfully about the torment of a wicked conscience, even if that conscience is hardened. Isaiah chapter 57 verse 21 states, "There is no peace, says my God, for the wicked." This lack of peace is not merely external. It is a profound internal disquiet, a constant gnawing that stems from a life lived in opposition to divine truth. The echoes of their actions deny them any true internal repose, forcing them to confront the spiritual bankruptcy of their choices. Their attempts to find new supply, to engage in new forms of manipulation, are merely desperate efforts to silence these tormenting echoes, efforts that ultimately prove futile. It is a profound spiritual liberation to realize that you are no longer subject to these echoes. By choosing truth, by walking away, you have stepped out of their convoluted reality and into the clear light of divine truth. While the narcissist remains ensnared by the echoes of their actions, you are free to cultivate peace, to embrace clarity, and to build a life unburdened by the torment of deceit. Your freedom amplifies the intensity of their suffering, not because you seek it, but because your light highlights the profound darkness of their internal prison. From the agonizing reverberations of the echoes of their actions within the narcissist, we now witness the inevitable external consequence. Their facade fails completely. The meticulously constructed false self, the charming mask they presented to the world, is now not only cracking under the weight of their own internal chaos, but is also actively crumbling, leading to a public and private collapse that they can neither control nor escape for a lifetime. The narcissist has invested all their energy into building and maintaining this elaborate false self. It is a fabricated identity designed to elicit admiration, control, and endless supply. This facade might have been one of supreme confidence, unwavering success, profound empathy, or even perpetual victimhood, depending on the specific flavor of their grandiosity. They wore this mask so convincingly that even they began to believe in its authenticity, using it to navigate relationships, careers, and social circles. You, in your empathy, likely played a part in upholding this illusion, perhaps inadvertently reflecting back the image they desperately wanted to see. But the foundation of this facade was always sand, not solid ground. As Matthew chapter 7 verses 26 and 27 illustrate, "And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall." Their house of lies, built on deception, is now experiencing the full force of this spiritual storm. The failure of this facade manifests on multiple levels. Publicly, the inconsistencies in their stories become more apparent. People who once believed their charm may start to notice red flags, subtle shifts in their narrative, or outright contradictions. The masks begin to slip in public settings, revealing flashes of the underlying rage, insecurity, or contempt they usually keep hidden. Those who were once fooled by their grandiosity may now observe moments of desperation or vindictiveness. This external crumbling is agonizing for the narcissist because their entire sense of worth is derived from external validation. When the admiration ceases, when the belief in their perfection falters, their world begins to shatter. The Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 11 verse 3, "The integrity of the upright guides them, but the crookedness of the treacherous destroys them." Their inherent crookedness, their lack of integrity, is now actively destroying the very image they tried to project. Privately, the collapse is even more devastating. The narcissist relies on external affirmation to prop up their internal delusion. With your removal and the subsequent decrease in quality supply, that crucial external mirror is gone or severely distorted. They are left with only the painful reflection of their true, empty self, a sight they find utterly intolerable. This internal collapse is characterized by intensified silent screams, a deepening of the void we discussed earlier, and a frantic struggle to maintain a semblance of control over their own deteriorating sense of self. The more their public facade crumbles, the more desperate and unhinged their private torment becomes. The facade fails completely precisely because it lacks genuine substance. It was built on lies, not truth, and fueled by external energy, not internal integrity. Once you withdrew your supply, you removed a foundational pillar from their carefully constructed illusion. Divine intervention also plays a crucial role here. God's light inherently exposes darkness. Luke chapter 12 verse 2 reminds us, "Nothing is covered up that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known." The truth about their character, about their manipulative nature, is being brought to light, not by your direct effort, but by the sovereign hand of divine justice. This exposure is a deliberate act, tearing down the veil of deceit they have so long maintained. This collapse is undeniable for them, regardless of how much they try to deny it, blame others, or construct new narratives. The feedback from their environment, the skepticism of others, the failure of their schemes, the growing isolation all confirm that their usual methods are no longer working with the same efficacy. This leads to profound frustration, desperation, and often an escalation of their erratic and destructive behaviors as they try to regain some semblance of control. Their pride, which led them to believe their facade was invincible, now sets the stage for their great fall. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 18 warns, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." Their haughty spirit is now experiencing the inevitable descent into chaos. It is a profound spiritual liberation to observe this from a distance, knowing you are no longer contributing to their false reality. You are no longer providing the supply that sustained their illusion, nor are you reflecting back the image they so desperately crave. Your freedom and your burgeoning authenticity only serve to further highlight the fundamental failure of their false self, accelerating its complete collapse. This is not a malicious act on your part, but simply the natural consequence of living in truth while they persist in deceit. Your peace is a silent, yet powerful, witness to the unraveling of their entire fabricated world. As the narcissist's facade fails completely, crumbling under the weight of its own inherent deceit, an even more painful consequence inevitably sets in. Their isolation deepens severely. This isn't just about being physically alone. It is a profound, agonizing loneliness that stems directly from their inability to form genuine connections, pushing them into a self-imposed prison of solitude. While they may frantically attempt to find new sources of admiration, the quality of their interactions diminishes, leaving them in a perpetual state of spiritual barrenness. The narcissist is fundamentally incapable of true intimacy or reciprocal relationships. Their interactions are transactional, designed solely to extract supply attention, admiration, control, or resources. They view others not as individuals with their own needs and feelings, but as extensions of themselves, mere tools to validate their fragile ego. This inherent self-absorption, coupled with their toxic patterns of manipulation, gaslighting, and devaluation, inevitably repels those who seek genuine connection. People, even new sources of supply, eventually grow weary of the emotional drain, the constant drama, and the one-sided nature of the relationship. The Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 13 verse 20, "Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm." The narcissist, being a companion of foolish and harmful ways, will ultimately suffer the profound harm of isolation, as others distance themselves. Furthermore, the sheer exhaustion of maintaining their elaborate facade contributes significantly to this deepening isolation. Pretending to be someone they are not, constantly managing multiple narratives, and perpetually performing for others is an emotionally draining endeavor. Over time, even the most charismatic narcissist will tire, and the cracks in their performance become more frequent and noticeable. This leads to a natural distancing from others, as potential sources of supply find them less engaging, more demanding, or simply too transparent in their deceit. The mask becomes too heavy to wear constantly, and when it slips, people recoil. The loss of quality supply, particularly the consistent, empathetic attention you once provided, exacerbates this profound loneliness. You, in your genuine capacity for caring, perhaps inadvertently overlooked their flaws or absorbed their negativity, providing a unique form of sustenance they cannot easily replicate. New sources of supply lack in your depth of understanding or willingness to tolerate their antics, will often abandon them more quickly or provide less satisfying validation. This leaves the narcissist in a perpetual state of hunger, constantly seeking new victims, but never truly finding the genuine connection their barren spirit craves. The nature of this profound loneliness is deeply internal. It's not just the absence of people, but the absence of true intimacy, of being seen and loved for who one truly is. But because the narcissist has no true self, only a facade, they cannot experience genuine connection. They are trapped in an inner emptiness, a void that no amount of external adoration can ever truly fill. Their constant need for new supply is a desperate, futile attempt to escape this inner prison, to fill a spiritual chasm that can only be remedied by authentic self-reflection and genuine humility, qualities they utterly lack. The Bible speaks of those who are spiritually barren in Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 13. "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and dug out cisterns for themselves." Broken cisterns that can hold no water. The narcissist relies on these broken cisterns of external validation, which ultimately fail to hold the true sustenance of connection, leading to ever deeper isolation. This deepening isolation is a self-inflicted consequence, a direct result of their refusal to live in truth and cultivate genuine relationships. They chose a path of exploitation, deceit, and self-service, and the natural outcome of such a path is spiritual barrenness and profound solitude. While they may project an image of popularity, surrounded by sycophants or new sources of attention, their inner reality is one of profound, agonizing solitude. They are alone in their grandiosity, alone in their deceit, and ultimately alone with their inner torment. This is a bitter fruit of their own sowing, a severe consequence of their UNRIGHTEOUSNESS. It is a profound spiritual truth that your ability to form genuine, healthy connections now contrasts sharply with their deepening isolation. Your journey of healing has opened you up to authentic relationships, to reciprocal love, and to the joy of true fellowship. While they remain trapped in a cycle of transactional interactions and increasing loneliness, you are building a life rich in meaningful bonds. Your thriving connections serve as a silent yet powerful testament to the stark difference between a life lived in truth and a life lived in deceit, further intensifying the crushing blow of their karma. From the suffocating grip of their deepening isolation, we now turn to the most insidious and agonizing consequence for the narcissist, their mind's relentless torment. This is the intense, inescapable internal suffering they experience, a direct result of their choices, their constant deceit, and their spiritual barrenness. While they might project an image of indifference or even fleeting happiness, their inner world is a relentless battleground, a prison of their own making from which there is no escape. The narcissist lives in a state of perpetual cognitive dissonance, where their inflated self-image constantly clashes with the crumbling reality of their actions and consequences. This creates an unceasing internal conflict, a mental and emotional agony that manifests as paranoia, severe anxiety, and an underlying seething rage. They are tormented by intrusive thoughts, replaying past events not with remorse, but with frustration over perceived slights or lost control. They constantly suspect others, projecting their own deceitful nature onto everyone around them, creating a world where trust is impossible and every interaction is a potential threat. The Bible tells us in Isaiah chapter 57 verse 21, "There is no peace, says my God, for the wicked." This divine declaration speaks directly to the narcissist's internal state. Their mind is perpetually agitated, incapable of finding true quiet or rest. This torment is relentless because the narcissist lacks the capacity for genuine self-reflection or humility. They cannot look inward and acknowledge their flaws or their role in their own suffering. Instead, they double down on their delusions, blaming everyone else for their misfortunes. This constant blame shifting prevents them from ever learning, ever growing, or ever finding a pathway to inner peace. Their false narrative, which once provided a thin veil of comfort, is now breaking down under the weight of accumulating evidence and the impact of karma. This breakdown further intensifies their internal chaos, leaving them without a stable foundation for their identity. Furthermore, the spiritual vacuum within them contributes profoundly to this torment. Having rejected true connection, empathy, and integrity, they have cut themselves off from the very source of spiritual sustenance. This emptiness manifests as a gnawing dissatisfaction, an insatiable hunger for external validation that no amount of supply can ever truly satisfy. Every fleeting moment of external affirmation is quickly consumed, leaving them just as empty as before, perpetuating a desperate cycle that feeds their inner torment. This spiritual barrenness ensures their suffering is not merely temporary, but a persistent feature of their internal landscape. This internal suffering is severe and debilitating, far worse than any external consequence they might face, precisely because it is inescapable. They can change jobs, find new relationships, or move to new locations, but they cannot escape their own minds. Even with new supply, the satisfaction is fleeting, and the underlying torment quickly resurfaces. The more they try to outrun their inner demons, the more relentlessly those demons pursue them. Their rage, often outwardly directed, is also consuming them from within, burning through their mental and emotional reserves, leaving them exhausted and increasingly unhinged. Proverbs chapter 12 verse 21 states, "No ill befalls the righteous, but the wicked are filled with trouble. This trouble is often internal, a constant torment of their own making. The Bible often speaks of the torment of a guilty conscience, even when hardened. While the narcissist may not experience typical guilt, their conscience is still active in a way that manifests as paranoia and ceaseless anxiety. Their past deeds, their abuses, and their lies return to haunt them, not as moral pangs, but as a deep-seated fear of exposure and a frantic need to control every variable around them. This fear is a relentless tormentor, denying them any semblance of peace. They are trapped in the darkness of their own making, unable to see the light of truth or the path to liberation. John chapter 3 verse 19 describes this, and this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and people loved the darkness rather than the light because their works were evil. Their love for darkness and evil works results in a judgment that manifests as continuous internal torment. In stark contrast, your mental peace stands as a powerful testament to your freedom. While their minds are a battlefield, your spirit is cultivating an inner sanctuary. While they are consumed by anxiety and rage, you are embracing calm and clarity. This profound difference is not lost on the spiritual realm, and it serves as a silent yet powerful vindication. Your peace highlights the depth of their suffering, not because you wish it upon them, but because your light naturally exposes the profound darkness of their mind's relentless torment, a torment they have chosen for themselves. Emerging from the depths of the narcissist's mind's relentless torment, we encounter a powerful, inevitable force that intensifies their agony, truth's unveiling light. This is not merely the natural consequence of their actions, but the active, purposeful hand of divine revelation, meticulously exposing their hidden deceptions and bringing their carefully constructed lies into the blinding clarity of day. For those who choose to live in darkness, the light is not a comfort, but a profound judgment. The narcissist thrives in shadows, relying on secrecy and manipulation to maintain their facade. Their existence is built upon a foundation of deceit, where they control narratives, distort facts, and present a fabricated version of reality to the world. They believe their cunning is impenetrable, that their lies are so expertly woven they will never be discovered. However, God's word speaks unequivocally about the ultimate triumph of truth. Luke chapter 8 verse 17 declares, "For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor anything secret that will not be known and come to light." This is a divine promise, assuring us that every hidden deception, every secret manipulation, and every veiled falsehood will, in its appointed time, be brought into the glaring light of truth, often in ways the narcissist least expects or can control. This unveiling often occurs through a series of unexpected revelations. A seemingly innocuous conversation might suddenly expose a glaring inconsistency in their story. A former associate, perhaps once manipulated or silenced, might unexpectedly find the courage to speak out. Documents or evidence believed to be safely hidden or destroyed might mysteriously surface. Sometimes their own words, spoken in moments of anger or carelessness, will betray their true nature, revealing their contempt or their true intentions. These moments of exposure are not random. They are orchestrated by truth's unveiling light, systematically dismantling the fabric of their deceit. They are moments where the mask slips irrevocably and the stark, ugly reality of their true self is revealed to others, The impact of this unveiling is devastating to the narcissist because their entire existence, their very identity, is predicated on deception. Their false self requires a constant stream of lies to sustain it. When those lies are exposed, their false reality crumbles. They lose control over their narrative, which is akin to losing control over their very being. The admiration they craved turns to skepticism, trust morphs into suspicion, and their carefully managed public image shatters. This public exposure amplifies their private torment, intensifying their silent screams and driving them further into paranoia and rage. They cannot bear to be seen for who they truly are, because what lies beneath the facade is an unbearable void. The Bible warns in Psalm chapter 7 verse 14, "Behold, the wicked man conceives evil and is pregnant with mischief and gives birth to lies." The lies they give birth to are now turning on them, exposing their mischief to all. It is crucial to understand that this process of exposure is an act of divine justice, not something you are actively engineering. Your role is simply to align with truth, to pursue healing, and to step into your own liberation. As you do so, your own light naturally exposes their darkness, and God's sovereign hand actively works to bring hidden things to light. You are not pulling the strings. Rather, you are witnessing the inevitable consequences of a life lived in opposition to truth. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 9 states, "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out." The narcissist's crooked ways are now being found out by a divine revelation that they cannot suppress or control. The narcissist will frantically attempt to suppress this unveiling light. They will deny, blame shift, launch smear campaigns, or desperately try to construct new lies to cover up the exposed ones. But these efforts are ultimately futile. The nature of divine truth is that it cannot be permanently suppressed. Like water finding its way through cracks in a dam, the truth will inevitably find a way to surface, eroding their control and shattering their credibility. Each new exposure, each piece of evidence that contradicts their fabricated reality, chips away at their foundation, accelerating their descent into chaos. This truth's unveiling light is a powerful testament to the fact that God is a God of justice who sees all. No manipulation, no cunning deceit, no hidden cruelty can remain concealed forever. Those who intentionally live in darkness will eventually be consumed by it, not because of human vengeance, but because the very principles of the universe demand balance and accountability. For you, this unveiling is a profound validation, confirming that your perceptions were accurate and that your journey towards truth was indeed divinely guided, even when you felt most confused and alone. It marks another definitive step in their crushing karma, demonstrating that their efforts to hide their true nature are now utterly failing under the scrutiny of divine revelation. From the revealing glare of truth's unveiling light, which relentlessly exposes the narcissist's deceptions, we now confront a stark and inescapable truth: destiny's harsh reality. This is the culmination of their lifetime of destructive choices, not merely isolated incidents of misfortune, but a comprehensive, often irreversible collapse that leaves them utterly broken, a direct consequence of their unrighteous sowing. For those who choose to sow discord and destruction, their harvest is inevitable and profoundly bitter. The narcissist, in their inflated sense of self and their belief in their own invincibility, often assumes they are exempt from the natural laws of cause and effect, particularly spiritual ones. They believe they can manipulate, exploit, and deceive without ever having to face the music. However, divine justice operates on an unwavering principle. What you send out inevitably returns. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 8 states, "Whoever sows injustice will reap calamity, and the rod of his fury will fail." Their consistent sowing of injustice, their fury directed at others, is now guaranteeing them harvest of calamity. This is destiny's harsh reality, a direct, divinely orchestrated response to their chosen path. The nature of this downfall is multifaceted and deeply painful for them. They experience a profound loss of power as their manipulative tactics become less effective and people increasingly see through their charade. Their once formidable influence diminishes as their credibility wanes and their ability to charm and control others evaporates. The deepening isolation we previously discussed contributes to this, as fewer and fewer people are willing to be subjected to their toxicity. They suffer a profound loss of respect, as those who once admired them now view them with skepticism, pity, or even contempt. This is particularly agonizing for the narcissist, whose entire self-worth is built upon the perception of others beyond. Relational and reputational losses, their destiny can involve tangible setbacks. Financial stability, often built on exploitation or cunning, can crumble, leading to unforeseen hardships and a struggle to maintain the lifestyle they believe they are entitled to. Health problems, exacerbated by their perpetual inner turmoil and unacknowledged stress, can intensify, further debilitating their ability to function or maintain their false image. Ultimately, this leads to a complete internal breakdown where the remnants of their false self can no longer sustain the weight of reality. They become consumed by their own rage, paranoia, and the insatiable void within, a spiral that pulls them deeper into spiritual barrenness. This harsh reality is inevitable, precisely because it is governed by divine law. God is a God of perfect justice, and He will not be mocked. While He is patient and long-suffering, there comes a point where the consequences of persistent unrighteousness are fully manifested. The narcissist's inability to change, their stubborn refusal to acknowledge their flaws or repent of their destructive patterns, seals their fate. Their own choices, their own patterns of deceit and cruelty, are the very mechanisms driving them towards this comprehensive collapse. As Psalm chapter 37 verse 13 says, "But the Lord laughs at the wicked, for He knows that their day is coming." The day of reckoning, the day of their inevitable downfall, is orchestrated by a divine hand that cannot be outmaneuvered. It is crucial to understand that this inevitable downfall is not about human vengeance, but about cosmic justice. It is the universe rebalancing itself, correcting the profound imbalances caused by their exploitation and deceit. Your role is not to actively seek their destruction, but to simply step out of their destructive path, allowing divine principles to take their course. By choosing your freedom, your peace, and your authenticity, you remove the very supply they needed to sustain their false reality, thus accelerating their collapse. This is God's unwavering commitment to justice, ensuring that those who sow destruction will reap nothing less than their chosen destiny. Biblical passages powerfully illustrate this truth. Psalm chapter 9 verse 16 proclaims, "The Lord has made Himself known. He has executed judgment. By the work of His own hands, the wicked are ensnared." Their downfall is a direct result of their own work, their own destructive patterns, caught in the very snare they set. Proverbs chapter 28 verse 18 warns, "Whoever walks in integrity will be delivered, but he who is crooked in his ways will suddenly fall." The narcissist, crooked in their ways, is destined for this sudden and dramatic fall, a culmination of their lifetime of deceit. This is their destiny's harsh reality, a life marked by increasing torment, isolation, and collapse, a direct contrast to your burgeoning freedom and peace. Your liberation highlights the profound bondage of their self-imposed fate, ensuring that their attempts to destroy you ultimately lead only to their own irreversible downfall. Flowing directly from destiny's harsh reality, which heralds the narcissist's inevitable downfall, we now perceive the meticulous workings of the unseen reckoning. This is the subtle, yet incredibly potent, form of divine intervention where unseen forces quietly but powerfully shift circumstances, meticulously dismantling their power and subtly turning events against their favor. While they desperately scramble to maintain control, an invisible hand is meticulously working behind the scenes, ensuring their schemes unravel and their influence dissipates. The narcissist thrives on visible control. They are masters of overt manipulation, grand gestures, and dramatic displays of power. They believe they can bend the will of others through force or charm. However, the unseen reckoning operates on a different plane, moving quietly, almost imperceptibly, disrupting their plans in ways they cannot comprehend or directly combat. This form of divine action is particularly agonizing for them because they cannot identify a visible enemy to blame, nor can they fight against what they cannot see. The Bible reminds us in Psalm chapter 33 verse 10, "The Lord brings the counsel of the nations to nothing. He frustrates the plans of the peoples." This divine frustration of plans is precisely what the narcissist is now experiencing on a deeply personal, maddening level. Consider how this unseen reckoning manifests. It might appear as a series of inexplicable bad luck, crucial alliances suddenly dissolve, opportunities they were counting on mysteriously vanish, or vital resources become unexpectedly unavailable. People who once readily supported them might suddenly change their minds, without any obvious external reason, sensing an unspoken unease or distrust towards the narcissist. Forgotten details from their past lives might resurface at the most inconvenient times, subtly undermining their current credibility. There might be a gradual, almost imperceptible erosion of their social support, their financial stability, or even their physical health, creating a pervasive sense of powerlessness that they cannot pinpoint or rectify. Each of these seemingly random misfortunes is a deliberate, divine adjustment, nudging them closer to their inevitable collapse. This subtle dismantling of their power is profoundly tormenting for the narcissist. They are used to being in charge, to dictating terms, and to controlling outcomes. When circumstances continually turn against them and they cannot identify a human cause, it fuels their paranoia and rage. They feel a sense of unseen forces working against them, a cosmic unfairness that defies their understanding. Their desperate efforts to fix things often only exacerbate their problems, as their attempts to manipulate or force outcomes are met with further inexplicable resistance. This continuous frustration slowly chips away at their grandiosity, driving them deeper into the internal chaos of their silent screams. Their usual tactics fail, not because someone directly thwarted them, but because a higher power is subtly shifting the scales. This unseen reckoning is a powerful testament to God's sovereign control over all events, even the seemingly minor coincidences of life. It demonstrates that divine justice is not always a dramatic pronouncement, but often a quiet, relentless process that patiently unravels the schemes of the wicked. God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating events to ensure that truth ultimately prevails and that those who sow destruction will reap their just deserts. As Job chapter 5 verse 12 affirms, He frustrates the devices of the crafty so that their hands achieve no success. The narcissist's crafty devices, their intricate manipulations, are being systematically frustrated by this unseen hand, ensuring their hands achieve no lasting success. Furthermore, this unseen reckoning is simultaneously working to protect and elevate you. While obstacles are placed in their path, doors are being opened for you. While their resources diminish, yours may be unexpectedly replenished. While their influence wanes, your authentic connections deepen. You might not always perceive these divine interventions in the moment, but retrospectively, you will see how circumstances subtly shifted in your favor, guiding you away from harm and towards blessing. This unseen hand is a constant reminder that you are divinely protected, and that even in the face of their continued malevolence, a higher power is meticulously working for your good. The narcissist, in their arrogance and spiritual blindness, will never fully comprehend the unseen reckoning. They will attribute their misfortunes to bad luck, jealous enemies, or unfair circumstances. This inability to grasp the spiritual dimension of their downfall only intensifies their torment, as they fight against an invisible current that inexorably pulls them towards their karmic destiny. Your peace, your growing freedom, and your blossoming life stand in stark contrast to their deepening despair, silently confirming the power of this unseen, yet ever-present, divine justice dismantling their power. While the unseen reckoning meticulously dismantles the narcissist's power through subtle divine interventions, your own path is illuminated by an ever-brightening reality, freedom's radiant glow. This refers to the increasing peace, authenticity, and profound spiritual growth that now emanates from you, a brilliant light that, by its very existence, becomes an unbearable contrast to their deepening chaos and torment. Your journey away from their manipulation has not just been a process of escape, but one of profound spiritual liberation. As you have shed the heavy burdens of their control, their distorted narratives, and the trauma they inflicted, you have begun to reclaim your true self. This reclamation manifests as an inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances, a genuine joy that bubbles up from within, and an authenticity that draws healthy connections towards you. This is the divine peace promised in Scripture, as Philippians chapter 4 verse 7 assures us, "And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This peace is your radiant glow, a light emanating from a heart and mind guarded by divine grace. This radiant glow is profoundly unbearable to the narcissist precisely because it fundamentally contradicts every narrative they have meticulously crafted. They expected you to be broken, to be consumed by despair, to be lost without their presence, just as their inflated ego demanded. Your peace, your joy, and your obvious flourishing without them utterly discredit their perceived power and expose the hollowness of their supposed significance in your life. It screams the undeniable truth that their control was an illusion, and that your happiness was never truly dependent on their provision or presence. This realization is intensely infuriating for them, intensifying their silent screams and driving them deeper into their self-imposed misery. Your freedom's radiant glow acts as a relentless, unbearable mirror, reflecting their own inner chaos back to them with startling clarity. When they glimpse your growing contentment, your ability to move forward with grace, it magnifies their own profound lack of peace, their constant internal struggle, and the pervasive emptiness that plagues their existence. They are perpetually striving, constantly seeking external validation, always feeling incomplete. Your calm, self-contained presence highlights everything they cannot achieve, everything they have forfeited through their own choices, and everything they desperately envy but can never truly possess. The light of your peace makes their darkness all the more apparent, a contrast they find intolerable. This profound irritation often manifests as an eruption of rage, envy, and a desperate, almost instinctive need to disrupt your tranquility. They cannot stand the idea of you being genuinely happy, especially when that happiness is clearly disconnected from them and their influence. This is frequently a driving force behind any attempts to hoover or re-engage with you, not out of genuine longing for your well-being, but out of a perverse desire to shatter your peace, to drag you back into their familiar chaos, and to reassert a dying sense of control over your emotions. They cannot comprehend a peace that exists independently of their manipulation, and so they seek to extinguish it. It is crucial to understand that your radiant glow is not a weapon you wield, nor is it born of malice. It is an inherent spiritual truth, the natural outcome of aligning yourself with divine principles of truth, healing, and liberation. By simply existing in your authentic, peaceful state, you become an undeniable testament to the consequences of their unrighteousness. Your light inherently exposes their darkness, much like a powerful floodlight reveals the details of a shadowy landscape. This process is divinely ordained, a part of the greater karmic rebalancing that ensures justice prevails. The Bible confirms this dynamic in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 18. But the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn, which shines brighter and brighter until full day. Your path is the light, and their path, by contrast, is the encroaching darkness. The narcissist, in their spiritual blindness, cannot dim this light, no matter how desperately they try. Their manipulations, their smear campaigns, their attempts to provoke a reaction, all are futile against the spiritual power of your authentic peace. Their efforts only serve to highlight their own desperation and to make your radiant glow even more apparent to those who have eyes to see. Your thriving, your serene countenance, and your growing freedom are the ultimate forms of vindication, silent yet undeniable proof that their attempts to diminish you have utterly failed, leaving them alone with their escalating chaos and the unbearable contrast of your radiant glow. Following the undeniable illumination of freedom's radiant glow, which so intensely contrasts with the narcissist's deepening chaos, we now delve into the profound inner work that sustains and deepens that glow. Spiritual strength grows. This refers to the incredible fortitude, the unshakable inner resilience, and the sharpened discernment that is being forged within your spirit, preparing you not just to survive, but to truly thrive, impervious to any lingering influence or future attempts at manipulation. Having walked through the fire of narcissistic abuse, you have endured a trial that most cannot comprehend. While incredibly painful, This experience has become a crucible in which your character has been refined. The spiritual strength that is growing within you is not merely a superficial coping mechanism. It is a deep-seated, fundamental hardening of your spirit against manipulation, a profound resistance to deceit, and an unwavering commitment to truth. This strength is a divine gift, a byproduct of enduring adversity with faith and a reliance on a higher power. The Bible tells us in James chapter 1 verses 2 to 4, "Count it all joy, brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." Your trials have produced this steadfastness, making you complete and fully equipped. This growing spiritual strength and discernment manifest in various, often subtle, yet incredibly powerful ways. You now possess an unshakable inner peace that cannot be easily disturbed by external drama or the antics of others. Your intuition, once perhaps ignored or suppressed, is now incredibly sharp, allowing for the quick recognition of red flags in people and situations. You can sense deceit from a distance, discern ulterior motives, and identify manipulative patterns almost instantaneously. This heightened awareness acts as an internal protective shield, guiding you away from potential harm and towards healthy connections. Your boundaries, once perhaps porous or easily violated, are now firm and non-negotiable. You understand your inherent worth and your right to safety and respect, and you are empowered to uphold these boundaries with quiet confidence. This is not about anger or confrontation, but about a calm, resolute declaration of your value and your commitment to protecting your sacred inner space. Furthermore, your emotional regulation has matured. While you feel deeply, you are no longer tossed about by the emotional storms of others. You can observe without absorbing, empathize without enabling, and respond with wisdom rather than reactivity. This emotional mastery is a direct result of having navigated the turbulent waters of narcissistic abuse and emerging whole. The development of this unshakable spiritual strength and discernment is crucial for your continued freedom and peace. It acts as an impenetrable barrier, preventing any future re-entanglement with similar destructive patterns. It safeguards your energy, ensuring that your valuable life force is invested in growth and purpose, rather than being drained by parasitic relationships. And perhaps most importantly, it makes you genuinely unbothered by any lingering attempts the narcissist might make to re-enter your life or disrupt your tranquility. Their efforts will feel like a distant hum, powerless to penetrate the robust walls of your inner fortress. You are putting on the full armor of God, as Ephesians chapter 6 verse 11 commands. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. Your growing spiritual strength is a vital part of this divine armor. This profound transformation is a divine gift, a testament to God's redemptive power, turning what was meant for your destruction into a source of enduring power. It underscores the truth that every trial, when surrendered to divine purpose, can become a stepping stone to greater spiritual maturity and a deeper understanding of your true identity in the divine. The wisdom you have gained, the strength you now embody, are not fragile acquisitions. They are permanent attributes forged in the fires of adversity, making you an incredibly powerful force for good in your own life and in the lives of those you genuinely connect with. This unshakable strength is far beyond the narcissist's comprehension or their ability to disrupt. They operate in a world of external validation and fleeting power. They cannot understand a strength that comes from within, a resilience that is rooted in spiritual truth, and a discernment that sees through their deepest deceptions. Your growing spiritual fortitude ensures that while their chaos deepens, your peace becomes unassailable, a living testament to the divine protection and empowerment that now defines your liberated existence. Building upon the bedrock of your spiritual strength grows a natural and glorious outcome of your refined resilience and discernment. You now discover a remarkable truth. Your purposeful path unfolds. You are no longer merely surviving. You are walking a blessed life, guided by divine wisdom, each step aligning you more closely with your authentic calling and profound meaning. This is a journey from entanglement to empowerment, from uncertainty to a clear sense of direction, far removed from the manipulative chaos you once endured. For too long, your energy and focus were likely consumed by the narcissist's demands, their dramas, and their relentless attempts to control your narrative. Your life might have felt like a reaction to their whims, rather than a proactive pursuit of your own potential. But as you have broken free and cultivated your inner strength, a sacred space has opened within you, allowing you to hear the quiet whispers of divine guidance. This purposeful path is not about grand pronouncements. It's about a deepening sense of meaning in your daily choices, a clarity about your values, and an intuitive knowing of the direction your spirit longs to take. The Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths." Your trust and acknowledgement are now leading you onto straightened paths of purpose. This unfolding path manifests in concrete and deeply fulfilling ways. New opportunities, previously unseen or inaccessible, begin to emerge, aligning perfectly with your rediscovered passions and talents. These are not merely random occurrences, but divinely orchestrated moments designed to propel you forward. Your relationships deepen, attracting individuals who resonate with your authentic self and who share a commitment to growth and truth. You find yourself engaging in creative expression, contributing to causes that genuinely matter to you, and serving others from a place of wholeness rather than obligation. Each of these actions, no matter how small, adds another layer of meaning to your existence, reinforcing the sense that you are truly being guided towards your divine calling. This is unequivocally a blessed life, because it is permeated by an unshakable peace and an authentic joy that the narcissist can never experience. It is a life rich in spiritual abundance, where true fulfillment comes from within and from divine connection, rather than from external validation or material acquisition. You are protected by a higher power, shielded from the very chaos that consumes their world. The very absence of their toxic influence creates an expansive space for blessings to flow, allowing you to flourish like a tree planted by rivers of water. Psalm chapter 1 verse 3 beautifully illustrates this. He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. In all that he does, he prospers. This prosperity is not just financial, but spiritual and emotional, a true flourishing. The divine guidance on this purposeful path often unfolds in unexpected ways, requiring trust and surrender. It might come through moments of quiet contemplation, through the wisdom of a trusted friend, or through circumstances that gently redirect your course. This guidance is always for your highest good, designed to lead you away from pitfalls and towards true fulfillment. It's a journey of walking by faith, knowing that even when the exact destination isn't entirely clear, the steps are being established by a loving and sovereign hand. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 is a powerful reminder here. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Your unfolding path is a direct fulfillment of these divine plans. In stark contrast, the narcissist, devoid of genuine purpose beyond self gratification, remains stagnant and empty. Their future is a repetitive cycle of their own destructive patterns, constantly chasing supply but never finding true satisfaction. They cannot comprehend your blessed existence, your genuine joy, or the profound sense of meaning that now permeates your life. Their spiritual blindness prevents them from seeing a path aligned with divine wisdom, leaving them trapped in their own self-imposed prison of chaos. Your vibrant, purposeful life serves as a silent, yet powerful, testament to the transformative power of divine grace, highlighting the profound spiritual poverty of their own existence. Your purposeful path unfolds, blessed and guided, eternally beyond their reach. As your purposeful path unfolds, guiding you into a blessed life brimming with divine wisdom and fulfillment, a critical and continuous act of self-preservation becomes paramount. Boundaries firmly set. These are not merely physical distances you create, but robust spiritual and emotional walls, meticulously constructed to protect your burgeoning peace and to ensure that the narcissist's relentless chaos remains forever outside your sacred inner space. For too long, you likely experienced permeable or non-existent boundaries, allowing the narcissist to invade your thoughts, emotions, and even your sense of self. Their manipulation thrived in the absence of clear lines, blurring your reality and draining your energy. But now, as you walk in greater freedom and clarity, establishing and maintaining these firm boundaries is an essential declaration of your sovereignty. It communicates, both to the external world and deeply to your own spirit, that you are no longer accessible to their toxicity. This is a divine imperative, for as Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23 advises, keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. Your boundaries are the vigilant guardians of those life giving springs, ensuring their purity and flow. These firmly set boundaries are crucial for multiple reasons. Firstly, they are your primary defense against any attempts at re-entanglement. Narcissists, especially when feeling the crushing weight of their karma, will often attempt to hoover, to reel you back into their drama. They might send manipulative messages, enlist flying monkeys, mutual acquaintances, or even launch smear campaigns. Without firm boundaries, these tactics could breach your peace. Secondly, they protect your energy from their silent screams and projections. Even if you have no direct contact, their chaotic energy can attempt to permeate your space through lingering negative thought patterns or through the indirect reports of others. Your boundaries create an energetic shield, ensuring their torment remains their own. And thirdly, they safeguard your newfound peace and purpose, allowing you to fully inhabit your blessed life without external contamination. Setting these boundaries involves a conscious, proactive approach. It begins with recognizing any attempt at invasion, no matter how subtle. This includes not engaging with their messages, blocking their calls, unfollowing them on social media, and politely but firmly declining to discuss them with mutual acquaintances. It also extends to protecting your thoughts. If a memory or a negative thought about them surfaces, you consciously choose to redirect your focus, refusing to ruminate or allow their past actions to steal your present peace. This mental discipline is a vital part of your spiritual wall. You are discerning all communication, filtering out anything that does not serve your highest good or align with your peace. The Bible encourages us to be discerning, as 1 John chapter 4 verse 1 states, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world." This spiritual testing extends to all influences attempting to enter your inner world. Furthermore, your boundaries involve spiritual discernment for emotional protection. This means trusting your gut instincts, recognizing when a person or situation feels off, and immediately creating distance. It means understanding that you are not responsible for their emotional well-being, nor are you required to absorb their negativity. You have a divine right to peace, and these boundaries are the means by which you assert that right. This is an act of profound self-love, recognizing your inherent value and refusing to allow anyone to diminish it again. It is a conscious choice to honor the sacredness of your own spirit. The establishment of these firm boundaries is not an act of malice or vengeance. It is an act of divine wisdom and self-preservation. It reflects a deeper understanding that true love and healthy connection can only exist where boundaries are respected. Your commitment to these walls communicates to the spiritual realm that you are now operating on a higher vibration, separated from the lower frequencies of deceit and manipulation. This separation is vital for your continued growth and for ensuring your purposeful path remains clear and unhindered. These boundaries make you truly impenetrable to their continued attempts. While the narcissist may continue to rage in their internal chaos, their efforts to breach your peace will be met with an unyielding barrier. They cannot reach your spirit, they cannot disrupt your peace, and they cannot derail your divine purpose. Your firmly set boundaries ensure that your blessed life remains undisturbed, a shining testament to your liberation and the enduring protection that surrounds you. With boundaries firmly set, meticulously protecting your hard-won peace, you now witness the glorious emergence of your unstoppable inner power. This is the full flourishing of your authentic self, your divine essence shining brightly, entirely untouched and untainted by the darkness they once cast. It is the culmination of your journey, a profound spiritual transformation where your true strength, resilience, and light are fully manifested, rendering the narcissist's attempts at control utterly futile. For a significant period, the narcissist sought to extinguish your inner light, to diminish your sense of self, and to control your very essence. Their manipulations, gaslighting, and incessant criticism were designed to convince you that your power, your worth, and your identity were somehow tied to their approval or their narrative. You may have felt fragmented, lost, or that your true self was hidden beneath layers of confusion and pain. But through your courageous journey of liberation, your commitment to truth, and your reliance on divine grace, you have reclaimed what was always yours, an inherent, divinely sourced inner power that no external force can truly diminish or control. As Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 tells us, So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. You are created in the divine image, possessing an inherent, unstoppable power that reflects the Vithkerlect. Creator. This unstoppable inner power shines forth in myriad ways. It manifests as a quiet confidence that needs no external validation, a deep knowing of your own worth that cannot be swayed by criticism or praise. Your joy becomes genuine, bubbling up from a wellspring of inner peace, rather than being dependent on fleeting circumstances or the approval of others. You naturally attract healthy connections, relationships built on mutual respect, empathy, and genuine understanding, because your authentic light draws similar vibrations. Your creativity flows effortlessly. Your intuition becomes a reliable guide, and your sense of purpose deepens. You live from a place of unshakable inner peace, a calm center that remains undisturbed amidst any external storms. This is the power of a spirit aligned with divine truth, radiating its authentic essence for all to see. This power is truly unstoppable because its source is divine and internal, not external or dependent on the narcissist's approval. It is not a power of control over others, but a power of self-mastery, a sovereign authority over your own thoughts, emotions, and responses. Every step you take in authenticity, every boundary you uphold, every act of self-love strengthens this inner power, making you more impervious to external manipulation. It is a continuous, self-perpetuating force that grows stronger with each passing day as you walk more fully in your liberated truth. As the Bible declares in Philippians chapter 4 verse 13, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. This inner power is precisely that divine strengthening, enabling you to live fully and fearlessly. The emergence of this power is the ultimate counter to their control and a source of profound spiritual satisfaction for you. The narcissist's entire existence is predicated on dominating others, on siphoning their energy, and on maintaining an illusion of superiority. Your unstoppable inner power directly challenges their core dysfunction. When they realize they cannot provoke you, cannot control your narrative, and cannot diminish your light, their own sense of powerlessness and internal torment intensifies. Your calm, unwavering presence becomes an existential threat to their fragile ego, highlighting their own emptiness and lack of genuine substance. They rage because they cannot comprehend a power that is sourced from within and from divine connection, a power that is inherently good and untouchable by their darkness. Biblical themes consistently underscore this truth. You are called to be light to the world. As Matthew chapter 5 verse 14 states, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Your authentic self, shining brightly, cannot be hidden by their attempts to cast shadows. The spirit within you empowers this light, granting you spiritual authority over the darkness they represent. You are walking in the freedom for which Christ has set you free. As Galatians chapter 5 verse 1 proclaims, for freedom Christ has set us free. Stand firm therefore, and do not submit again to a yoke of slavery. This freedom is the source of your unstoppable power, ensuring you will never again submit to their manipulative yoke. The narcissist, bound by their false self and consumed by their own darkness, cannot comprehend or stand against this authentic power. Their world is one of control and fear. Your world is one of freedom and divine love. Your flourishing, the radiant glow of your true self, is a living, breathing testament to the ultimate triumph of light over darkness. It ensures that while their internal torment deepens, your peace is unshakable, your purpose clear, and your inner power truly unstoppable. Having fully embraced your unstoppable inner power, witnessing your authentic self shine forth untainted by their darkness, you now stand in the glorious dawn of your triumphant new reality. This is not merely about having survived. It is about embracing a life overflowing with profound joy, deep fulfillment, and an unshakable peace. A life that is completely, gloriously, and eternally far beyond their reach. While the narcissist remains trapped in their self-imposed chaos, haunted by their silent screams and consumed by the crushing weight of their karma, you are flourishing, a living testament to the transformative power of divine grace. For too long, your reality was shaped by their manipulations, your peace held hostage by their whims, and your joy overshadowed by their inherent darkness. But now, you have transcended those limitations. Your triumphant new reality is characterized by an internal buoyancy, a lightness of being that allows you to experience genuine happiness in the simplest moments. You walk with a clear sense of purpose, knowing that your life is divinely guided and aligned with a higher calling. This is the abundant life promised in Scripture. As John chapter 10 verse 10 declares, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly." The narcissist, the spiritual thief, sought to rob you of your very essence. But now, through divine intervention and your courageous commitment to truth, you are living life in its fullness, rich with spiritual blessings and unadulterated joy. The most liberating aspect of this triumphant life is its inaccessibility to the narcissist. It is far beyond their reach. They cannot touch your peace because it is sourced from within, from your connection to the divine, not from external circumstances they can manipulate. They cannot disrupt your purpose because it is divinely ordained and rooted in spiritual truth, not dependent on their approval or control. Their attempts to hoover, to launch smear campaigns, or to provoke a reaction will fall flat against the robust spiritual and emotional walls you have meticulously built. You are operating on a completely different spiritual plane, a higher vibration, where their low-frequency chaos simply cannot penetrate. As Romans chapter 8 verse 37 powerfully states, "No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us." You are not just a survivor. You are a conqueror, living victoriously over the forces that once sought to enslave. You, embracing this triumphant life, involves actively choosing to live authentically in every facet of your being. It means speaking your truth with unwavering courage, knowing that your voice is divinely empowered and no longer silenced by fear. It involves nurturing genuine, reciprocal relationships with individuals who see and celebrate your true self, forming connections based on love, respect, and mutual upliftment. From a place of profound wholeness and spiritual abundance, you are now able to serve others, pouring into the world the very love, wisdom, and grace that have transformed your own life. This outward expression of your purpose is a natural overflow of your healed spirit, a testament to the profound spiritual maturity you have gained. Every day becomes an opportunity to celebrate your freedom, to give thanks for your liberation, and to savor the blessed peace that now defines your existence. Consider the stark and undeniable contrast between your flourishing life and the narcissist's. diminishing one. While you ascend into greater joy and purpose, they remain stagnant, consumed by their internal torment, their escalating rage, and the profound emptiness within. Their future is a repetitive cycle of their own destructive patterns, constantly chasing fleeting supply but never finding true satisfaction or peace. They are trapped in the prison of their own making, unable to comprehend your blessed existence, your genuine happiness, or the profound sense of meaning that now permeates your life. Your vibrant, purposeful reality stands as a constant, unbearable mirror, reflecting the stark barrenness of their own chosen darkness, intensifying their silent screams and confirming their complete loss. The blessings of this triumphant living are immeasurable, an unshakable inner peace, profound spiritual insight, unwavering confidence, and a deep, abiding gratitude for the transformative journey you have undergone. This peace truly surpasses all understanding, guarding your heart and mind against any residual shadows or external chaos. Philippians chapter 4 verse 7 promises, "And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This divine peace is your constant companion, the very essence of your triumphant walk, a peace that is now securely yours for eternity. Your journey from entanglement to liberation, from suffering to strength, and from chaos to calm is a profound testament to divine love, unwavering protection, and the ultimate triumph of light over darkness. You have been set free, and your life is now a beacon of hope and possibility, demonstrating that even in the face of profound darkness, God's light always prevails. Live fully, live freely, and live victoriously, knowing that you are walking in a purpose and peace that the narcissist in their darkened world can only ever rage against, but never reach. As the echoes of their silent screams fade into the distance and the relentless haunting thoughts diminish in power, a profound serenity begins to settle upon your spirit. Imagine a gentle, warm breeze washing over you, carrying away the last vestiges of the storm you once endured. The relentless pursuit of their fleeting attention, the agonizing dance of their manipulation, the heavy burden of their deceit, all of it now lies behind you. A distant, receding memory dot. Picture yourself standing on a vast open plain bathed in the golden light of dawn. The air is fresh and clean, filled with the promise of a new day. You are unencumbered, light of heart, gazing out at an endless horizon of possibilities. This is the quiet reality of your liberated spirit. The battles were fought, the chains were broken, and now all that remains is the profound, reassuring whisper of divine love. You are not alone. A loving presence surrounds you, guiding your steps, illuminating your path, and guarding your peace. Rest deeply in this truth. The work of healing continues, gently, patiently, guided by unseen hands. Know that you are safe, you are loved, and your future is now bathed in a peace that transcends all understanding. May your dreams be filled with this profound peace, and may every new morning bring a deeper sense of freedom and light.